Okay, we'll take questions for Coach. Mark, first question here in the front.
News group want to see if there's any new information on Clay and Kavan with their injuries.
Not really. Clay said he'll be fine, but Clay could be half dead and he'd say he'd be fine. So we'll see. He pulled his hamstring. He thinks it's minor. So I don't know what that means going forward. And Loon, something with his shoulder, and so we'll see. Sorry, that's all I got.
Given all those things in play, what were the keys you thought of the team ultimately prevailing over this?
Well, I said yesterday and today that 109 points is plenty to win the game, which is what we had in game one, but we gave up 118. So it was all about our defense, and we held them to 37%, and forced 15 turnovers and guarded the three-point line well. So it was championship defense, and that's what it's going to take.
Nick, back left, standing.
Steve, Nick Friedel, ESPN. Back. How would you put into context the performance DeMarcus gave you, given the fact that he's missed 6 weeks and he tore his quad?
I thought he was great. I mean, we came in thinking, all right, he can, maybe play 20 minutes, and he gave us almost 28. There was only one time in the game when he needed a rest, which was mid-fourth, and we gave him a couple minutes and then got him back in the game. But he was fantastic, and we needed everything he gave out there: his rebounding, his toughness, his physical presence, getting the ball in the paint, and just playing big like he does. We needed all of that, so I thought he was fantastic.
Phil.
Hey, Steve. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. That 14-0 run to start the third quarter, we've seen some big third quarter runs from you guys, but how do you put that one in context amongst the most important you've seen, and how much of that do you think was keyed by the defensive intensity?
Yeah, I mean, it was the big point in the game. I thought just staying in the game at the end of the second quarter was also very important. I think we were down 12, and place was going nuts. We couldn't score, and Steph and Clay both got loose, and the game loosened up a little bit, and we scored. We weren't exactly making stops, but we cut the lead to 5 and could kind of breathe at halftime. And I think our guys felt renewed life at that point and came out and just had a great run to take control of the game, and we were able to finish it out from there.
Tim in the back right.
Steve, Tim Reynolds with the AP. Two things. One, you said Steph and Clay, but Steph got loose. What was it that was bothering him early? Did you ever get any clarity on that? And secondly, did you have a feel at halftime that you guys were going to put together one of those spurts to open a quarter like you have so many times?
I mean, I couldn't have envisioned 14-0, but I liked our position. It felt like we should have been down by a lot more than 5, and for the first quarter and a half, we really had a tough time scoring, and so the last, whatever it was, 4, 5, 6 minutes, the game loosened up, and we finally broke free and started getting some buckets. We started to look like ourselves, and so at that point it just felt better. And then the second half we got it rolling, and we ended up with 34 assists, which is more like our team. And so it was it was a great win. Now we got to go home and protect our home floor, and we'll see about all the injuries. But I'm very proud of our team, and in particular all the guys off the bench. Quinn Cook hit some huge shots, and Bogut came in, gave us big minutes. Jerebko as well. So it's a hell of an effort from the bench.
Mark here in the front left.
Steve, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Love to get your impressions of the final possession where Iguodala hits the open three. First of all, the scramble on Steph, the nearly intercepted pass, and the fact that the Raptors allowed a guy like that to take an open shot, and the fact that he took it with time remaining on the clock.
Well, I mean, you're not going to let Steph Curry take the shot. So they double teamed Steph, and that left Andre open. And he had hit another big one earlier in the game. Anytime Andre can make a couple threes, it's huge for us. It loosens up the game. And I thought his play in the second half was really inspiring at both ends. He did a fantastic job, and he's hit a lot of big shots in the finals before, so he was unfazed.
Tim, back left.
Tim Kawakami, Athletic. Steve, you moved Clay onto the Kawhi defensive assignment, for kind of freeing up Andre maybe off the ball. Do you think that had a difference? And what was the thinking behind that?
Just wanted to change the look. Both teams have a lot of versatility defensively, and both teams have been kind of switching matchups and changing the look. And we felt at halftime like it made some sense, so we went with it. And whether that was it or not, I mean, we just got into a good groove defensively to start that third quarter. And so we'll take a look at the tape and assess what we see. But it was a great third quarter effort. Held them to 21 points in that quarter.
Back right.
It's to Coach Dan Devine from The Ringer. You mentioned needing everything that DeMarcus was able to give you tonight. If you come out of this game with some questions about Clay and about Kavan, are you going to need more from him moving forward? Do you feel comfortable with his, sort of his health, physicality to be able to get more from him moving forward in this series? From DeMarcus. From DeMarcus.
Yeah, he feels good in there right now, and we have a couple days before Game 3, so we do feel confident that we can continue to get good minutes from him, and we're going to need them, obviously, with all these injuries.
And in the back.
Steve, Ann Killian with the San Francisco Chronicle. Just to go back to Steph for a second, there were reports that he left the game in the first quarter and that he was battling some kind of an illness. Can you fill us in on that?
I think he may have been a little dehydrated, and that was the word I got. He just was feeling a little bit lightheaded, and went back into the training room and came back and was doing much better. So I'm not exactly sure beyond that. So that's all I've got for you.
Last two quick ones on this side right here.
Steve, Dan Weinke with the Los Angeles Times. Can you just kind of expound on sort of the totality of the team during that run? You mentioned Bogut, but like Cook and Livingston, it seemed like you got something, McKinney, from every one of those guys in the third quarter. And how important is that going to be moving forwards if you guys are as depleted as you leave the game tonight?
Well, that's what it takes. You need your bench no matter what, but in particular when you've got a lot of injuries. So we'll just continue to go to those guys and trust them, and they've proven that they can really help us. Bogut hadn't played in the first game in 3 quarters, so what he did was fantastic out there. Gave us a little different look with that lob threat. So we'll see what we've got and tee it up for Game 3.
Last question, next behind.
Steve, Arash Madani from Sportsnet. You mentioned that Andre's unfazed a few years ago was so big for you in the finals. What is it about him on this stage in these big games and the big moments where he delivers?
He's just got a lot of experience. He's done everything in his career. He's been in the Olympics. He's won 3 rings. He's been an all-star. He knows how to play. One of the smartest players I've ever been around. And I think he sensed that we needed his production in that second half, and he came alive. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Nurse will be next.
Lowry gets hit and knocks it down. Job on Curry in Game 1, despite the fact that Curry got to the free throw line, scored a lot of points. McKinney in the game, deflected by Lowry. Nice pass ahead from Gasol Van Fleet to Siakam. Oh, what a slam!
Outstanding. Throws it ahead, and Van Vliet throws it upstairs to Siakam, and he does the rest. Outstanding execution defensively, leading to quality offense in transition.
I remember talking to Kyle Lowry, Green with his 4th rebound. Pass inside to Livingston.
And those are the plays we saw Draymond Green do in the previous series.
Van Fleet to the rim. Bank shot is good. He usually has one of those a game. Siakam was open. Now they get it to him. After Thompson's able to recover. Siakam, nice spin move. Banks it home.
To now. The top end talent is great, but the depth isn't even close.
Van Fleet does it again. Banks it home and draws the foul.
Lowry a little upset that he's coming out of the ball game. I think it's the right play because he has to defend either Curry or Thompson, which is a tough task.
Powell gets inside. Siakam with Klay Thompson on him. Jerebko comes to help. Leonard's left open. Count it and one. Goes backdoor at the pass. Kicks it out wide open. Iguodala hesitated though. Curry now contested three. That's good. There's that first field goal from Steph Curry. 10-point Toronto lead. Curry for three. Again, Steph Curry with his second straight three-pointer. 5 on the 24. Van Vliet fakes, stoops, floater. Got it. Cousins goes right at Siakam. Iguodala, two-pointer. That's good. And suddenly it's a three-point game.
Rim left open.
Draymond Green got a hand on that one. Lowry gets Curry off the three-point line, so Curry runs and banks home the follow, or banks home the layup. It's a one-point game. Siakam gets up into Thompson.
Doug here on the left.
Nick, Doug Smith of Toronto Star. You talked earlier before the game about Kyle and his foul trouble and trying to avoid it. Tonight, do you think it and the other guys' issues just caused some flow problems for your rotations?
A little bit, Doug. I just think we had a few guys in foul trouble kind of early and first half, and then third quarter as well, and then fourth quarter. So I don't know. We got to, you got to play physical basketball, but you got to be able to adjust and all those kind of things and try to stay out. And then you got to avoid the silly ones too. That's all I got.
Do you see Kyle sometimes maybe getting some silly ones because he's a little over aggressive?
Well, I got to look at him, right? I know one, he's a great charge taker, right? And I know one of them was possibly a block charge, and those are tough. They go each way. But maybe that sixth one, I didn't really see it in the game. So, in the backcourt, probably 80 feet or so from the basket, those are ones you got to be careful, especially when you got 5. But I'll need to look at that first.
Tim, back right.
Nick, Tim Reynolds with the AP. Back to the other side. Hi. When the next 2.5 days before you guys get back out there, how much are you going to be thinking about the first 6 minutes of the half and how that just was obviously very uncharacteristic for the way you guys have been playing for the last couple of months?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly going to have to look at it. And, I've always said, even this series and the last series, that offense is really important, taking care of the ball and scoring it, because if you don't, they're coming at you really fast the other way. And again, we've got to be able to get our defense set up, and it's a lot harder when you're not taking care of it or scoring. Just kind of playing it back through my head, I thought we had I know we had one little turnover where Danny slipped to the rim and tried to kick it out. But I think, Mark had a couple real nice little looks there, and we had 4 or 5 decent possessions there, and we just came away empty on all of them. And then we had probably 4 or 5 that were not good possessions either. So, certainly the offense hurt the chance to get the defense set up there. So, yeah, I'm going to have to rewatch that. I'm probably not going to enjoy that very much, but I'm going to have to check it out.
Right here in the second row in the center.
Coach Kayla Gray, TSN. You guys got a little bit of life there from Fred VanVleet for a moment. I'm just wondering what you saw from him in the minutes that you got from him. 30.
Yeah, he played a lot. What did he play tonight?
38.
Almost 40. Yeah, he was good. Obviously, he's working really hard on defense too. Guarding Curry. He was running the team. He was making really quick decisions off the pick and roll. He had some good looks. He probably hadn't played that many straight minutes in a while. I think he had a couple that are late. He was probably a little tired, but he kept taking them and stepping into them. But 17 points from him is great, and running the team the way he did is great.
Over on the right side.
Coach, Peter Anopoulos from RDS Television. Your team has really moved the ball effectively the last couple of games, stemming from the Milwaukee series. Tonight, 17 assists on 35 made field goals. What did Golden State do differently tonight defensively?
Well, they were obviously a little more aggressive and up in us a little bit. But again, I think we've got to, I thought we were just a little bit impatient and didn't hold enough composure just to either A, get to a strong shot, or B, move it to the next one. I thought we hit an action and something would be there and they'd cover it up with some help defense. Well, when there's help, there's got to be somebody else probably open on the other side of the floor. And I thought we kind of shot a few too many into multiple defenders or two defenders around the basket where those probably should have been maybe swung to the other side. Again, I got to look at it a little bit, but it just felt like we were a little quick when there was something else, maybe just a little bit better open.
Michael here.
Michael Grange from Sportsnet. Sort of on the flip side of that, you look at their assist totals, really like 34 on 38 or something, and it seemed they were able, DeMarcus especially, was able to find guys on some back cuts, and there's a lot of stuff in the dunker spot looked open. Is that just a function of just, pick a poison and trying to hug them at three, and they're going to have space to use?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to get up on those guys flying off the screens, Curry and Thompson. And they did a really good job of getting out of there with speed tonight, those guys getting downhill. And again, a lot of those were just probably mistakes by us, right? Weak side mistakes or just a half step too slow. The other night we got away with a few of those where we were a half step too slow, but we would kind of somehow recover out of them. Tonight they were really getting downhill quickly. They took it off the dribble a lot better too. It just wasn't, the second half especially, just wasn't nearly as physical of game as we've seen in the playoffs. It was just hard to move and body a little bit tonight, and it caught up with us a little bit in the second half.
Towards the center.
Coach Louis Zatzman, Raptors Republic. Those last 5-6 minutes, there wasn't a lot of scoring. What were you thinking? How were you feeling down that stretch?
Well, I was feeling really good because we stopped their scoring, right? And finally got something figured out there to slow them down. And we were getting a bunch of wide open shots. I think we missed 3 wide open threes in a row there to cut it to maybe 4, right? And maybe it was 5. I don't know exactly what it was, but bunch of stops in a row, and we didn't get much to show for it at the other end. But I, really proud of our guys for fighting and battling. The ball was not bouncing our way at all, right? I mean, even on the last play, Kawhi, who just got 3 incredible offensive rebounds in a row, they almost threw it right to him on that one, and they got through his hands somehow, and then they end up kicking out for that 3, which, we're probably gonna live with that there, because if he misses that, we get a rebound to tie or win the game.
Right here in the front.
Nick Malaysia-Hernandez at London. With the series tied going into Oakland and no longer being on home court, what are the prominent focal points that you're going to bring over to the next couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same boat they're kind of. We're in coming here. We got to go out there and get one, right? That's all we got to do is get one, and we can do that.
We're going to go Reed and Mark here. Last 2 questions.
Hey, Nick, Reed Forgrave with CBS Sports. Your guys' half-court defense has been dominant this entire playoffs. It wasn't as dominant tonight. There were kind of some holes here and there. What did you think was, the one missing element, specifically in the half-court?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, our half-court defense is, first of all, it's about getting it set up. Right? There was a lot of quick possessions by them, again, probably due to our offense. So that's the first thing. Second thing, our half-court offense is very physical, and it wasn't very physical tonight.
Mark, last question.
In the right way. And then, again, we just made some weak side mistakes.
Sorry. Mark, last question here.
Nick, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. I'm wondering if you could take me through the final possession, especially the fact that Iguodala shot it with about 5 seconds left on the clock, and the fact that he was so wide open during that possession.
Yeah, I think, we scored the basket, and look up and there's 26.4 or something left. That's a definite foul situation, right? They can hold it all the way to the end, throw it up there, hit the rim, and the horn's going to go off. I've been in that situation before. So usually under 28, if there's 28 or more, you're going to play solid defense. If it's 27.9 or under, you're not. We're trying to foul. We had a couple chances there on Draymond, I think Livingston, and then back to Draymond, and then Curry got it, and we didn't want to foul, but we put a good blitz on him, and we almost made him throw it away. And I think if they're going to take a shot and give you a chance there, I'm going to probably live with the one that ended up being taken. I'm going to probably roll with that. We should have fouled before that, but like I said, he misses that. We call timeout. We go down with a chance to win the ball game, unbelievably somehow.
Steph said after the game to Doris Burke that he thought it was, in his words, disrespectful to leave a player like Iguodala that wide open. What did you think of that?
Well, we weren't disrespecting anybody. We were up guarding hard, and we put 2 on Steph, and he almost threw it right to Kawhi, right? It was pretty good defense. You know, they were scrambling around, running around like crazy, but and they found Iggy, right? They found him. And like I said, if he's gonna take that and give us a chance to get the ball back and win the game, we're gonna probably live with that. It wasn't like we were disrespecting him and not trying to guard him. We were in a trap and rotating out of there. And again, I'd like to go back and try that again about 10 times and see if one of them doesn't go our way.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks a lot.
Confirm Warriors for the interview room.
Curry throws it up, and Andrew bumped it just in.
What an absolute luxury.
Bad pass from Green, stolen by Powell. Siakam soars and scores.
Questions for Draymond? First question here in the middle, on the right.
Robert Littal, BSO. In game one, you talked about how you was going to take personal responsibility on Siakam to make sure that he didn't kind of blow up like he did in game one. Can you talk about the job that you did on him tonight and how you was able to slow him down?
I mean, just try to be more aggressive. You know, I wanted to set a tone on him and, you know, not let him get in the rhythm early. And saying that, you know, I didn't box and want him, you know, and chase him around the floor like Richard Sherman does some guys. Like, you know, that's a complete team effort. You know, I tried to do my job when I was on him, and everybody else stepped in and did their job as well. I think, you know, getting back in transition was huge, but, you know, overall, we threw several different bodies at him, so I can't just come up here and be like, yeah, I took him out the game. Like, that's garbage. That was a complete team effort.
Arash over here on the left.
Arash Madani with Sportsnet. Draymond over here. Steph scored 12 points in the last 4 minutes of the half. You guys get it within 5 at the break. Then you go on that tear. What happened in that sequence of time, in that 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after the half, that allowed you guys to take over?
We got stops. We took away their transition buckets, and we got transition buckets. You know, we always say we're at our best when we're getting. That's our best offense when we're getting stops and we're pushing the ball. Obviously, Steph was great, you know, in closing out that half for us, and you know, I think we should have been down by a lot more than 5 points. But when you're going in, you know, into the half down 5, we know we can cover that in 10 seconds. You know, so you know, our mindset was great coming out the half, and you know, DeMarcus was big to start the half, and everybody was just moving without the ball, and you know, we pushed the ball in transition. It was big for us.
Standing in the back right.
Draymond, Dan Devine from The Ringer. Picking up on that point on DeMarcus, I'm wondering, you know, when you found out he was going to be starting tonight, you know, what were you thinking about how that might change the way you guys were able to move on offense? And then what did you see from him as the game progressed? Did it seem like he sort of got into rhythm, got going as the game went along?
He did. You know, that's once again, you know, DeMarcus hasn't played much basketball over the course of the last 18 months. You know, so the more he plays, the better feel he gets. You know, tonight he was huge for us. You know, Coach, you know, putting him in the star lineup, I think, was big. You know, obviously they want to attack him on the defensive end, but you watch the film, he didn't give up much on the defensive end in game one. And similar to tonight, he was great on both ends as well. So, you know, and allowed us to play through him some in the post. You know, they got to honor that, or, you know, we know what he's capable of if they don't.
Mark, right here in the front.
Draymond, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Steph, after the game, said it was disrespectful of the Raptors to leave Andre wide open for that shot, given his pedigree. What did you think of that last possession, the way Andre shot the ball with that much time left on the clock, and the fact the Raptors didn't get a foul?
Well, I didn't think they were going to foul. They were trying to get a steal. They were trapping Steph. Steph outletted the ball to me. They came with a trap. But I think as big as Andre's shot was, we've come to expect Andre to hit big shots. Since he's been here, I've seen him hit several game winners. I've seen him, put the icing on the cake of several wins. But the way Sean Livingston met that pass, I think, no one will write about that. We all got a joke amongst us of bad receivers and good receivers. I always call Kevin a bad receiver. I always call Sean a bad receiver. He turned into Megatron tonight for that pass. It was big for us.
Okay, next question.
Hi, Draymond. Tenny Sumagi, Eagle News, Philippines. What would be the Warriors' next game plan to avoid some of the mistakes that were made on defense and offense?
You're always going to make mistakes. That's just the nature of the game we play. You're playing against a great team. They're in the NBAFinals for a reason. They're going to force you to make some mistakes, but it's about the effort that you put out there on the floor to overcome those mistakes. And, I think we did that tonight. You're never going to play a mistake-free game. None of us are expecting that, but you try to minimize the mistakes and take advantage of, the opposite team mistakes.
Dan, on your right.
Opposing team mistakes. That was bad.
Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. You took a lot of personal responsibility after game one, and I think we could see early in the game you stepping up. Yeah, near halftime, you guys are still down 10. What's going through your mind at that point?
We was down 5 at half.
No, I said near halftime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when they got to 10. What's going through your mind at that point? Are you trying to do even more, or do you just figure if you keep this up, it'll turn around?
I thought if we kept it up, it'd turn around because, when they went on their run, I think they went up 12. We had 3 or 4 possessions where we got great shots, and we just missed them. I have, faith in our team that if we continue to get, we always talk about just getting a shot every time. We're good enough to where if we get a shot every time, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win. So, we weren't turning the ball over. We was getting good shots, and you live with those results. Obviously we got a, good swing there to close out the half, and, the third quarter, we really dominated that quarter.
In a game like this, where you have so many opportunities to guard so many different types of players, how much do you enjoy that challenge?
I enjoy it a lot. Guarding Kawhi is different than guarding Pascal, and guarding Pascal is different than guarding Kyle Lowry. But, as a defender, as a competitor, I relish those opportunities to make an impact on the game on the defensive side of basketball. I understand how important that side of basketball is, and no matter who I'm on, I try to, make sure I have a big impact on that side.
Thank you, Draymond.
Five on the 24. Van Vliet fakes, stoops, floater, got it! Cousins goes right at Siakam. Iguodala, two-pointer, that's good. And suddenly it's a three-point.
Second row.
Fred, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. What was the defensive strategy in that final possession as far as fouling, not fouling, and what did you think when Iguodala launched that shot 5 seconds before the clock and the fact that he was so wide open?
Yeah, I think obviously from my viewpoint, I was picking up Steph, trying to make it tough on him, just trying to make one of those other guys make a play. We got it down. I think me and Pascal maybe got Steph in the corner up there at the top of the half court, and I thought Kawhi had a good play on the ball. Didn't come up with the loose ball and worked back around a little bit and found Iggy on the way back out, and he got a wide open look. So at that point, you're trying fighting for a rebounding position. You never want to think that is going in as the other team. So you're fighting for rebound position, and obviously knocked it down. So that was a really big shot for him, and I think would we like to have contested that a little bit more? Probably, yeah. But I think obviously we had a little bit more focus on Steph and just trying to make them take do something other than what they wanted to do.
Did you like the fact that Iguodala launched it when he did?
No, I mean, we don't disrespect those guys. We know that Iggy's made big shots in his whole career. He's done that for that team, for the last however many years. So we've seen that movie before. We've seen him make that same shot before. But I think from our viewpoint, just the scheme and the way that we were trying to attack that possession, we wanted somebody else to shoot it. And I think that we just got to do a better job of probably running back out at him when he does get that open look. I haven't seen him play, so I don't know what the next rotation was. But we'll look at it and see how maybe next time we can try to be better.
Same row on the right.
Freddie, Coach had talked about you guys just not being able to get set on defense, and particularly with the third quarter. Was there an issue there with pace that was throwing you guys off?
Yeah, I think, overall, I think it just started too slow, and you can't do that against this team. Missing every shot doesn't help. Whatever, 10 possessions in a row, we didn't score. I'm not even sure. It didn't feel like we were even getting in the paint to control the tempo or the flow of the game. So they jumped out on us, and it was hard to get back set after that. And you got to score against this team. 21 points in the third quarter is not going to do it, and our offense has got to be better. And I think that probably adds an extra 10 on their side where we just couldn't adjust there. So got to be better to start the third, and we know that. And that's something that we'll focus on and look at the tape and see how we can be better next game.
On this side here on the aisle.
Mike Bond from Rolling Stone. Fred, to elaborate on that run a little bit to begin the third. Obviously, we know Golden State is capable of doing that, but when it's happening, what are the conversations that are having there, and what's kind of the level of panic, if any, that's setting in?
Yeah, no panic. Just trying to get our offense going. Like I said, I wasn't on the floor to start the third, so I can't speak to what those guys were thinking at the time. But once I got out there, just trying to be aggressive and stay aggressive and get some points on the board just to try to, weather that storm and weather the run that they were putting on us. So I think that when we have good offense and we're able to get our defense set, we can live with that. But when we're turning the ball over and not getting good shots and not making any shots, and you got to guard those guys in transition every play, it gets tough, and that's what you saw.
Michael Grange from Sportsnet. You're matching up with Steph a lot. How difficult is it once he gets rid of the ball to kind of keep him in your sights?
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. He's best in the business, and that's why he is who he is. He's such a smart player, and he knows how to get his shot. And his team looks for him, and they got a good rhythm, and they don't have to run plays or anything. It's just playing basketball, and so you can't relax. You can't have any lapses, and your help side's got to be good, and your trap's got to be good. And I thought that, we had some good spots, but there were other parts of the game where we just weren't good enough. So got to be better in Game 3.
It looked like the whistle was a little bit tight early anyway. And did you guys back off in trying to be physical, either consciously or unconsciously, in the second half? Personally,
no, I didn't. But obviously I have a different role than some of the other guys. I ended up with 38 minutes, but that's probably more of an anomaly than anything. So you try not to, but it's the nature of the game, and you understand if, you come down and you're holding them and they call a foul, you hold them, and then it come down, and next time you don't hold them, he push you in the chest and make a three. So that's just kind of how the officiating goes, and as players, you got to do a better job of adjusting and trying to find that fine line and straddle that line. And I think that some of us did that better than others, and I thought that Kyle got a rough whistle a little bit, and it goes like that sometimes. So just got to try to be able to adjust and not focus on that so much.
Last question, next row back.
Hey, Fred, Trista Crick, USA Today. Just given the fact that you guys were able to claw back and get in position to maybe even tie or win the game, how are you guys feeling emotionally given the way that you guys started the second half?
Yeah, we're good. You guys didn't think this was going to be sweet. I don't know, what you guys thought this series was going to look like, but we went into it expecting a dogfight. And yes, we won Game 1. I think everybody else outside of our locker room was a lot more excited than we were. And we understand, what this team brings and what type of effort it's going to take to beat these guys. So we know what we're dealing with here. And obviously we would like to play better. And we would like to have a chance to win at the end like we did. We fought back. And we know that going towards Game 3, we got to play a lot better, and it's going to be even harder on the road. But we're capable, and we know what we bring to the table. So we got to regroup, flush it, and get back to work tomorrow.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
And did Siakam miss that, or did Klay Thompson come up through the rim?
Count it, and the foul as Lowry gets hit and knocks it down. Job on Curry in game one, despite the fact that Curry got to the free throw line, scored a lot of points. McKinney in the game, deflected by Lowry. Nice pass ahead from Gasol Van Fleet to Siakam. Oh, what a slam!
Outstanding.
First question right here on the left.
I caught it just now.
DeMarcus. Right here. Mike Bond with Rolling Stone right here. To come back and have a big game, breakout game like you had tonight, just how good do you feel right now?
It feels great. I've leaned on my teammates throughout this moment and throughout this whole process, and this was an incredible moment for me. But I'm not satisfied, and looking forward to Game 3.
Steph, what did you make of DeMarcus tonight?
He was special. Obviously, he's getting more comfortable, more minutes, and playing aggressive when he's out there. Puts a lot of pressure on their defense, and even on our defensive end, making his presence felt, blocking shots, being in the right place at the right time, and it's a big lift for us. I know he's been waiting a long time to be on the stage, and obviously with his injuries, he's taking the challenge of inserting himself and making that transition smooth. So it's been fun to watch. More to come.
Tim, standing in back left.
Athletic. DeMarcus, what was your reaction when you got word that you would be starting, and what were the days or hours like leading up to knowing that you're going to get to start?
I was just like, cool. I told Steve coming into this, whatever he needed from me, I was okay with it. If it's coming off the bench, if it's starting, if it's playing, 8 minutes or 40, I'm cool with it, whatever. So, I want to come in and help the team with whatever's needed. And when I step on the floor, I'm gonna leave it out there.
Again, back left.
Logan Murdoch, NBC Sports Bay Area. DeMarcus, you went through two, catastrophic injuries, particularly with the quad most recently. What is it in your DNA that wouldn't let you miss this season?
One, I want to be on this stage. This is what I've worked for my entire career, to be on this stage, to have this opportunity, to play for something. But, once they told me I had a slight chance at, being able to return, it basically was up to me and the work and the time I put in behind the injury. It was up to me. So, I put the work and the time in, and with God's grace, I'm able to be out here and, play the game that I love. So, with that, I've told y'all before, I don't take any of this for granted. I've seen how quick this game can be taken away from you. So every chance I get to go out there and play, I'm going to leave it on the floor.
Tim, back right.
Steph, Tim Reynolds with the AP on this side. You guys have used the strength in numbers mantra now for a long time, and have there been too many more nights where that might have rung more true than this one? Steve said that he was thinking DeMarcus's cap would be 20 minutes. He played almost 30. Quinn Cook making the threes. Andre, obviously, with the shot that won it, and there's a shot that sealed it at the end. The strength in numbers, I know it's been around for a while, but tonight it had to mean a lot more than maybe it has a lot of nights.
Yeah, I think when you get to this stage, who our DNA shows up. So it's not something you just throw out there to have nice shirts and give out to the crowd at Oracle and have all this marketing stuff. It's literally like how we approach every day from training camp to June. So how we support each other, how guys stay ready throughout the year, whether they play, like you said, 30 minutes or miss, 10 straight games out of the rotation, whatever it is. Coach always talks about it, that everybody's going to have a chance to help us win a championship at some point, and just to stick with it and be patient. And it shows itself over the course of a season. And tonight was huge. And we need 3 more wins, and we need it to keep going. But that's a part of who we are in our DNA. It's not just what we say.
Mark here in the front.
Hey, Steph, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. It was said on the broadcast that you were entering the game dealing with some kind of illness. Wonder if you can kind of shed light on anything in regards to that and what you tried to do to fight through it.
It just didn't feel right, but to start the game. But end of the day, nothing's going to keep you out from playing in a finals game if you can help it. So I have plenty of time to recover before Game 3. Don't really know what the cause was. Just didn't feel right.
Arash over here.
Steph, over to your left. Arash Madani with Sportsnet. That third quarter, not only the run, but the fact that you're getting contributions from DeMarcus and Quinn Cook and Bogut and just kind of everybody being a part of that. How much did that ignite things for you?
It pretty much won us the game because we established our defensive presence. We got stops, and everybody got involved in the offensive end. And when you come to the timeout after a couple runs like that, and everybody's involved, whether they're scoring or setting screens or making the assist or whatever the case is, everybody feels good, and the vibe is just solid. And we know that we've taken control of the momentum, and then it's just about sustaining it down the stretch. So obviously third quarters have been great for us. Game 1 couldn't get over the hump, but tonight was a different story because of our defense, and everybody contributed to that.
Standing in the back right.
David Colon, CTNI, Puerto Rico. Stefan, how important is you keep your faith up more than you go to San Francisco? You keep your faith up with your teammates to the rest of the series.
To free up my teammates?
Yeah, you always have your faith up. How important is you have your faith up to...
Oh, my faith?
Your faith up with your teammates for the rest of the series.
Oh, I got confidence and faith in everybody sets foot out there on the floor, and they have the same in me. So, again, whoever's out there, contributing and playing, we'll get the job done and have fun doing it.
Back left.
DeMarcus, Jonathan Cho with DIA-TV. Where would you say you are at physically right now? How close are you to being 100%? Because you're still recovering from your injury. Where do you feel like you're at right now?
Bro, I really don't know. I don't know.
Gray sweater here on the left side.
Steph, Kemal Bozkurt, HaberName.com, Turkey. I hope you'll be this time final MVP, but if you will not be, are you going to be upset or you'll be still happy?
I want to win a championship, and that's all that matters, my man. Appreciate it, though.
Thank you, guys. Kawhi Leonard will be up.
Draymond Green. Iguodala. Steph Curry. Nice feed inside to Draymond Green.
And did Siakam miss that, or did Klay Thompson come up through the rim?
Count it, and the foul as Lowry gets hit and knocks it down. Job on Curry in Game 1, despite the fact that Curry got to the free throw line, scored a lot of points. McKinney in the game, deflected by Lowry. Nice pass ahead from Gasol Van Fleet to Siakam. Oh, what a slam!
Mark, first question right here.
Kawhi, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Can you take me through the final possession where Iguodala hit the three? There was about 5 seconds left on the clock when he took it, 8 seconds left in the game, and he wound up being wide open, and the plays that took place before it where you guys almost stole it.
Pretty much summed it up right there. We ended up trapping Curry. I was playing two. He ended up passing to Livingston. Almost got a steal.
And then, I really didn't see where Iggy came from. He came up, Livingston found him, and he knocked down a shot, big shot.
Did you want to see the ball in his hands in that situation compared to anybody else on the floor?
No, we wanted to see it in our hands. We wanted to get a steal.
Robert on the right side.
Robert Littal, BSO, right here at Kawhi. What is the key, in winning on the road? And it's such an important playoff series in the finals. You've done it, obviously, before. What do you consider the key when you go on the road, especially now that you guys are 1-1?
Just coming in as one, you know what I mean? Obviously on somebody else's home floor. They got the 6-man with the crowd, but, just have to buy into ourselves and, come out hard, strong, no mistakes, no turnovers, and, the same thing you got to do at home.
Third row here in the center.
Kahari Jones, Quessy Sports. Kawhi, how does it feel to be the only player and to lead a team to 2 different NBA conferences?
Never thought of it really, but I guess it feels good, but it's not over yet. It's still basketball, and no matter what jersey you got on. And, that's what I'm trying to do, just lead and win games.
Over here in the second row on the right.
Kawhi, when you look back at the game and the body of work, where did things break down defensively for you guys, and how?
I feel like in that third quarter, we didn't score the ball in like the first 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. Obviously led to them getting out in transition early, and a lot of layups, unopened looks, and that was pretty much the game right there. Went on like a 18-0 run, I believe, and you can't do that with a championship team on the other side.
A bit different this time around. You guys were really fast game 1. Did things kind of flip around game 2?
I can't say that. I feel like our pace was good early. It's just that third quarter, I feel like it just really killed us, you know what I mean? 18-0 run, if we can't score no baskets, you're not going to win no game.
Again, same row.
Tenny Samagi, Eagle News Philippines. The Warriors have a lot of injuries. Will that affect the team's chemistry, the Raptors team's chemistry? Or do you feel that you will take advantage of that?
Not really. We still got to go out and make shots and guard guys that's out there. Everybody's in the NBA. These guys have a high basketball IQ. Obviously them missing Durant, it's a big loss for them. But, they won the game tonight.
Any other questions? Michael over here on the left side.
Michael Lee with The Athletic. Kawhi, how much do you lean on just your past experience in the finals? And how much do you share with your teammates, going in 1-1 or going on the road?
Just obviously just taking one game at a time, you know what I mean? Finals is not going to be easy. The only thing that matters is the four wins. Once you get it, 2 wins, 3 wins, it does not matter. Just take one game at a time and, just play through the adversity.
How much does your respect grow for a team like the Warriors, just the fact that they were able to get all those key plays down the stretch?
It's a big respect for them. They've been here the last 4 years, won the last 2. And, you got to just take the challenge. Great basketball team. You got to go out there and accept the challenge and, want to fight and win.
Thank you, Kawhi. Yeah. This concludes the session here for tonight.
Lowry a little upset that he's coming out of the ball game. I think it's the right play because he has to defend either Curry or Thompson, which is a tough task.
Powell gets inside. Siakam with Klay Thompson on him. Jerebko comes to help. Leonard's left open. Count it and 1. Goes backdoor at the pass. Kicks it out wide open. Iguodala hesitated though. Curry now, a contested 3. That's good. There's that first field goal from Steph Curry. 10-point Toronto lead. Curry for three. Again, Steph Curry with his second straight three-pointer. 5 on the 24. Van Vliet fakes, stoops, floater, got it. Cousins goes right at Siakam. Iguodala, two-pointer, that's good. And suddenly it's a three-point game.
Rim left open.
Draymond Green got a hand on that one. Lowry gets Curry